Let me introduce our next speaker. We're so flattered to get such a noble participant of this forum.
Thank you.
Your Excellency Xiaojun, good day. Welcome to Kazan. How does it feel to be in the capital of the Republic of Tatarstan?
It's great.
It's great.
It's
yeah,
amazing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. A round of applause to Xiaojun, partner of studio Atelier Architects. И прямо сейчас мы готовы начинать. Mr. Xiaojun, the stage is fully yours.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for inviting us to the city of Kazan. This is not first time in Russia, but first time in Kazan. My topic is, sorry, I better just look, otherwise I think I stand like this, gonna be better. The topic is between syntax and context. Since the audience are basically architects, architecture, construction field involved. Basically, the lecture is really about how we generate original ideas from context and speak our own language, original language. So we call it a syntax. So a little bit. So you guys, I don't have to stop, right? Wait for translate. It's fine. It's fine, right? Okay. Okay. So a little bit of introduction about our firm. My name is Xiaojun. My partner, also my wife, is Jiyuan Zhang. Both of us graduated from Harvard GSD, and Jiyuan graduated from Cooper Union from New York. Both of us worked in New York for a couple years, and then we came back to China. We practiced in China for 13 years. At the beginning of this year, we were invited in Russian. The forum name is A-Class House, I think. So this is the second time to be in Russia. Really, our firm is believe that architecture is a deep practice of art. Basically, we're talking about architecture is not construction. Architecture is not about physical environment. It's also blended with a spiritual aspect of our life. And also, you can see from the social media that if you have a very good place of architecture with providing phenomenon that really give people like emotional influence, then people gonna like it. Yeah. So that's how the art is really blend with architecture. And also we believe that architects is not only solving problem, solving formula, solving all this construction quantities, deliverables. Also, architects are like the architects of the logic of space. Also, explore of the space in terms of artistic aspect. So this is a picture from the exhibition from our one of our installation. So it's the architecture blend with exhibition, architecture blend with art itself. So our firm also really enjoy how to enjoy the way that architecture is some practice between theory and practice. Architecture is not. Architecture should go beyond reality. Architecture should really sum up from the practice, but provide a higher level of like a human thought. So we really look into the literary dimension of art. So there's one slide. Oops. Hello. Yeah, I will keep talking. So there's some content in here. So really, I'll just go free. Okay, nowadays architects really encounter hesitation about where is the heroes are, where is the Yes. So architects nowadays are facing that hero-less age. Now, don't you guys think that the age now is changing too fast? AI, war, everything is crashing us. And the modern architecture we are really tired of modern architecture. We are really tired of the concept that architecture is a machine. But we don't think architecture should be like stage design, interior design, decorations, all that stuff. So what architecture should be is a very deep, fundamental question that we ask ourselves. So that's how we look at architecture. So now we brought up the idea of architecture from within and architecture from without. It's really about multidisciplinary practice. We focus on now we look at the literary dimension of art. A little bit slow. So Derrida says not ended written text, the unwritten text. So we really focus on, the idea is really focus on the meaning behind the text, the meaning that unwritten. I think computer is here, right? Maybe here is better. No. Yes. Also, Victor Hugo said very famously, this will destroy that. The book will destroy edifice. What that means is the printed book, rather than written by hand, will destroy the literal aspect of architecture. That means architecture itself already has the literary aspect. And also, if you look at the plan of a Greece city, you can see tons of language going on. They're interacting with each other. The road and little L, and also the columns within the each one of the function of the city, like the church, the house, the dwellings. Next, maybe you can hit next. Yes. So that will address the textuality of architecture. Next, please. If you look at this on the left, it is the job of syntax. The syntax is talking about the structure of language, how to control the verbs, the noun. And then if you look at the right, it's a basic element of our word. Renaissance means re, like again and back. Nas means born. and then ans means before. So Renaissance means right before the reborn. The pretext means before everything. Subtext means the under the surface of the text, and the context means what's going on before and after. And the syntax is really talking about the hierarchy and the architecture of the structure of our language. So what does it mean? That means we really focus on the how we learn from the context, our life, and then we speak in our tone, speak in our way of thinking. So we really focus on what kind of context. One aspect is physical, one is metaphysical. The physical part, is really about the job of architects, like the site, the lighting, all the physical part, MEP, all the physical aspect. And the metaphysical really about the culture, the art, the literature, social, cultural artifacts. So that's something that we are really looking for, and we want to provide a value of this age architects. So that's talking about syntax from context. So this is a big collage of our work. We start from small to large. Basically, we conclude to 5 syntax around maybe 15 to 17 projects. They are like folding, mop the floor, cutting and lighting, calligraphy, cereal boxes. So that's but they're not sorted by time or by size. It's really after years of practice, we thought that may be very consistent about the syntax. Let's say more or less like a tectonic, how we organize our language in terms of the methodology. Next, please. So each of the projects sometimes has very strong, a fundamental background conclusion from the context. Sometimes it's just simply like a language. Maybe next, please. Frozen. Yes, the first one is calligraphy. We generate sculpture from Chinese calligraphy. This one shows how we deconstruct the structure of a calligraphy of a Chinese character and form it into a piece of art. And then we teach studio from at Tsinghua University to analysis how the weightness and the stroke of the type of art, and then we generate architecture proposals. And then at the beginning of the year, we spent 3 months to generate this proposal for Xi'an, Xianyang of Xi'an city in China. So this is basically is part of the old ancient city of Xi'an. Xi'an is a very ancient city. It was the capital of China for maybe 1,000 years. So there is an ancient grid of the city which is really strong. So the project is right at the edge of the ancient city. We introduce the grid of the city into the 3 sides, and then try to also blend the idea of calligraphy back into the architecture. So it was like a stadium, exhibition hall, and also has a science center. All three public buildings together. So this is the final proposal. Luckily, we were shortlisted at this stage. So all this image are basically is part of the line at the ancient age that the earth was washed away and was left on the ground. And the second one is folding. We were at the beginning we were developing this through a way of a sculpture, and then the first chance is we are having the opportunity to generate a space for jewelry exhibition. So we saw that the way how we combine with the leaning wall and also how the leaning wall touched the body of the audience is really interesting. So that was at the very beginning. And then one moment, concrete manufacturer, GFRC and GRG manufacturer, they want us to generate an exhibition room. So we are about to, we had it. We want to show the softness of concrete. So that's how we use that corrugated surface to form an exhibition space. Meanwhile, it is a pavilion for people to habitate. So that's the final result. And then this one is really based on the idea of fossil. So the way how people find out fossil is that the fossil actually is embedded in layers of soft stone. They just peel away the layers, then they found a fossil, because the mud get settled down by layers, and so the city of Xiaojun. Really famous for the fossil of one of a kind of the fish. So we use that idea, which generates from the typological type of the fossil, and then we use that idea of layers and generate a museum. We won the competition, and it's built in 2012. So the layers generate the space, also not only include the function of a museum, also provide huge canopy, like cantilever, like 64 meters, for people to stand beneath it, to see the development of the future city. And this one is right under construction, is a Center Museum. The museum is housing the treasure of like chicken factory. This one is the biggest one in Asia. It's in Fujian province of China. So the idea is the landscape of the site was really beautiful. So we really want to generate one idea, one stroke, that not only part of the mountain and the landscape, but also it can be part of the tourist routine that provides space for people to enjoy. So we generate the idea of peel the ground away, peel the ground up, to provide space for people to stand. So that was the final looking of the museum. So the texture of the surface is really about the containing wall people use corrugated concrete containing wall to support the earth behind it. We use that idea and then extend that all the way to the facade of the building, and also is extend itself into the interior, which is the cafeteria and also the lobby. So the tectonic of the folding, the corrugated is really smart. That is that we leave very small part of the glazing part as lowest necessary of the income natural light, but leave a vast space with artificial light, which is really needed in the museum system. But we leave very bright natural lighting parts at the front. Yeah. That is a public space. So that's the final looking. Now it's the curtain wall is under construction right now. And this one is, after the COVID period, there are a lot of temporary facilities left on the ground. So the government find us to treat them because they're abandoned. So we generate idea to revitalize the leftovers of the facilities. So the idea is really to treat the ground as a tent, and then we generate a space for public use, like a market and also like a event venue. And also people can climb all the way up to the so the building was treated as a part of the landscape, and the people will use it as not only landscape but also like shelter of space. So because really all the MEP, all the conditioning facilities are all embedded into every single of the unit. So all the project is really about how to build a big, gigantic structure and then shelf all the units in. So all this are like we repainted and put it back in. So the third method is about morph the ground. At the beginning, it was a sculpture. It was a Binao of Shenzhen Design Week. So the idea is try to set up a furniture at the edge of the seashore, and we provide like a public furniture, but we generate a little bit reflective surface. At that moment, you will see the reflection like twisted like a reality. The mirrored reflection image is part of you're seeing the nature environment, but you will see it in different way because it's flipped. And then we use it into other projects, like this one is renovation also at the seashore of Qinhuangdao. The city of Qinhuangdao is at the edge of Hebei province. So we use the ocean, the sea image as part of the renovation, and also we generate like a curtain wall system to bring people all the way up from ground to the roof of the structure. So everything is shiny, everything is glazing, mirror glass. So this one also is under construction. So, and the fourth one is the Beijing Institute of Technology University. It's a gym. So the idea is treated the ground as a part of the flying system, because the university is really good at the rocket science. They really look at how the airplane take off. So that's about the university. So we generate the roof as part of their trajectory curve, and we use 3 parts of the curve and generate 3 pieces of a roof as the morphed way of the ground. So that everything is integrated into one system of the diagram system. You guys probably see our little island design by the end of the hall. It's also about a diagram system. We thought like Kazan has 55% of people believing in Islamic culture. So we saw like also we try to absorb the geometric relationship of Islamic study into the island design of the Kaban Lake. So this one is the stadium design. So you can see there's a basketball court, and we have like a swimming pool. And this one is a tower. The problem of modern tower is really, the issue of modern tower is really how to bridge or integrate the tower body and the base part together all the way up with the ground. So the way we solve the problem is to use a stroke of the concave shape into the tower, and then so that will bring the urban scale and human scale and also the architectural scale, 3 scale together. So this one is really, really simple. Just this one is called Wuhan Culture and Sports Center. It is like a 90,000 square meter culture center. You go with 4 buildings all together. There's so there's like a performance hall, stadium, like a science center, and also a civic center. So this one comes from the idea of how we integrate the landscape with local culture. The local culture really really famous about the artifact of brass from like 4,000 years ago. So we designed all the ground and the roof and the facade system as one. Everything is in green color, in different way of green color. So that's the cultural artifact from the local. It's brass. So this is how we pick the material from all the providers. And this is the curtain wall system that we guide the construction. And this one is will be finished next year, April. And the cutting and lightings, this is very beginning. This is go back all the way to the beginning of our firm. So the Yingliang Stone Archive. Yingliang Natural History Museum is our client is stone provider. they after years and years of their business, they have a huge amount of collection of fossil. So they invite us to design a museum for fossil. So we go all the way back to their work. Basically, they deal with stone. They deal with very huge, vast value of space. So basically, the idea was to use the opportunity of the renovation and then to blend with their work, the culture of their work. So there are several volume of crystal intersect together and then was squeezed into the existing structure, office structure. By the way, this is a renovation project. So at the end, it is like a surreal cinematic view of, it's a little bit of surreal scenario aside from our life. And by the way, this one was picked by Mr. Tado Ando at the first album of Domus. And this one is a museum for Tibet medicine. So this one we use the way of cutting and lightings to introduce lighting vertically and horizontally into the museum. So we go all the way really close to the local religious, and we try to introduce their beliefs into the space with the exhibition, the showroom of their way of treating medicine. And this one is Wuli Epoch Culture Center. So this one is at the end of the axis of Beijing city. There's a lot of amount of beautiful mountain. So we use that idea, and we separate. We slice our site into several courtyards, and then connect them three-dimensionally all the way from the ground to the roof. So this is the final result. So people will climb all the way. There are several passes. People can walk all the way to the roof to enjoy the environment of the West Mountain. This is all the cutting walls. This is the interior, because the way how the passes interacted together, there's a lot of skylights introduced into the interior. So the interior is really breathing with exterior. There's not a very physical, solid envelope, but with a lot of combination with natural light and then path, the top surface and bottom surface of the path, the slope. So this one was really exciting, because really the first time we set up a new syntax of the path. The path is driven by the environment, the desire to enjoy the environment. And this one is really talking about our client is fashion industry. So this one is really talking about how the way that our clothes interact with our body. So the surface is getting close and peeling away from the body, and then we generate the volume, the form of the office building. This office building is really, it's involved with press rooms, all the reporters, and then the upper levels are office for designers. So the last one is surreal boxes. The first one is dealing with our idea of can we bring our collective memory together as one piece of art. So we collect a lot of like surreal actions that we cannot really do in architectural world. So for example, the small piece of the scale collage with large scale, that was a CCTV tower with a piece of apple. And this one is a balloon with Sky Temple of Beijing, floating buildings, churches underground. So like Manhattan beneath the canopy. So we generate one piece of an installation collecting all the memory of our city that are our spiritual aspect memory. And then this one is stage design. We treat the stage as a surreal boxes. So if you look at the diagram, so people are really not like this type of shoebox type. So the audience are interacting with the stage from different directions. So the seats are not like typical seats. They are like there are four direction of the directionality. So actually, the actors come up to the stage from different angles, so that all the people can look at we actually work with the director very closely. So we provide the space first, and then the director write their script, and then they train the actors to finish the perform. And the last project is called Dali Transformer Park. It is located in the ancient city of Dali. It's right within the corner of the ancient city. So this one, it was a factory. It is the last modern building in that ancient city. And then our clients rented, and then they asked us to design a theater to contain modern immersive performance. So the talk is really about, can we blend like very strong local culture architecture together with modern immersive performance art. So we sliced the whole building into several parts, not only two-dimensional, but also three-dimensionally. So that was right there. Here. So if you look at the green, the heavy line, it is the ancient earth wall. It's an ancient wall. So you see the whole city is really is made up with very small pieces of buildings, like very old buildings with gray tiles on top of the roof, pitch roof. So it was like a concrete structure. So we blend with tiles together with the old building, and then we generate like slopes. It climbs all the way up to the top of the roof. So there's a very famous Erhai, which is the mountain lake within mountain. And then if you look back, there's a mountain. So the roof is a really good resource of the tourism. And then we generate a bunch of like flat surface on the shoulder of the slope, the ramp. So all the actors actually before every evening their performance, they have a lot of time. They need to practice their performance. So we suggest them, because it's a southern part of China, it's really hot. So no need to all the way stay in the interior space to practice. So we persuade them to practice right on top of the roof, on top of the landscape, three-dimensionally. So that was really, I think that was really interesting moment that we blend art with daily life together. So that was the final result. It is like concrete, like a factory building, but at the end it is really like a surreal box. And then the rest part of it is just a lot of images. I will just quickly browse through. So you can see little bridges, little stages. It is rough because the budget, but we try our best to provide the space. The tiles go all the way up, climbing vertically, blend with horizontally surface. And then there's a lot of stage design. We designed they call it the tree of life. So in the plot, there's a dramatic change of the character of the role, and then after the change, they come down. And also we use the heritage of the abandoned factory. So the stage is movable. It goes up and down. It is LED. So it was really popular because sometimes they host like a rock performance over here. So that's an Asian city. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Xiaojun.
Put here, yeah.
One more time, let's give a round of applause to our dear guest coming here from the Atelier Architects. Mr. Xiaojun, thank you so much for making your time